All right, let's watch what the LA City Council had to say about
Garcetti
Mike
is
Bonin.
the latest political power player to say 3 city council members should resign after their racially charged comments were recorded and leaked to the media.
Other council members, as well as both mayoral candidates, Karen Bass and Rick Caruso, are also calling for the 3 to step aside.
Outrage and political blowback for some LA City leaders after racist and derogatory slurs were leaked in an audio recording from a meeting last October.
So you'll start seeing them line up.
Council President Nury Martinez using expletives, referring to District Attorney George Gascon in a conversation about redistricting. Martinez, along with 2 other Latino members of the Los Angeles City Council and top county labor officials, were heard in that meeting speaking nonchalantly of ways to afford their own political gain.
Are they not going to show us? They have to show us. How are you not going to show the full audio, man? What are you crazy? Let's take a look. Let's go into the real shit, okay? Let's get the juice and the sauce. LA City Council members Nury Martinez, Gil Cedillo, Kevin De Leon, and LA Labor Federation President Ron Herrera were making racist comments and discussing redistricting. Knock LA has some of the leaked audio. Now, this is an hour and 19 minutes of just insanity.
All the,
Here's Herrera talking about Gascon.
all the, folks like with Gascon, he did call me. He wants to have breakfast with me.
What's taking him so long?
I just said, hey, we need to talk.
Gil supported him from the.
All right, don't worry, I got you.
Fuck that
So
guy.
you'll start seeing them line up.
He's with the blacks.
Isaac was the first.
There's more. Hold on. There's more. Just wait. In the recording, Council President Nury Martinez says of Los Angeles District Attorney George Gascon, fuck that guy. He's with the blacks. There's nothing you can do to control him. And he says, when he's talking about Mike Bonin, who used to be homeless, and he's a council member, very controversial council member that all the other council members fucking despise. He talks about his son. He has an adopted black son, and he calls him a little monkey. He says he looks like a little monkey.
Whatever the kid's name is, I'm like, it's like the oddest thing. It's like black and brown on this float, and then there's this white guy with this little black kid who's misbehaved. Este niño has they're not giving us, they're not doing, the kid is bouncing off the effing walls on the float, practically tipping it over. There's nothing you can do to control him. Parece changuito. And I'm just like, oh my God.
He's a little kid. He's like a little baby. LA City Council President Nury Martinez was recorded calling a fellow council member's 2-year-old black son a little monkey, and said she wanted to give him a beatdown. She said this about a 2-year-old. It gets worse. In the recordings, Nury Martinez says the District Attorney George Gascon, fuck him, he's for the blacks, and plots with Kevin De Leon and Gil Cedillo to chop up Nithya Rahman's district in order to weaken her. Which, by the way, remember, like, these are the neoliberal city council members actively trying to figure out ways of removing people like Nithya, who are leftist council members, from their positions of power. These are people who were democratically elected because people said, hey, we don't like the way things are going. We don't like the way things have happened so far, especially with respect to how homelessness is being tackled in our districts. And we have an alternative that revolves around an empathetic approach, an alternative that revolves around housing first policies, an alternative with the best that, of course, they can do. Clearly, it's still not the best. And these are all libs. This is one of the greatest examples of the ideological differences between liberals in safeguard districts and in safe, like, liberal territories, and the way they treat actual leftists, like actual progressive candidates. Tracy Park, who's running for CD11, tweeted that Nury is an incredible leader and an inspiration. This tweet has now been deleted. Tracy Park for LA, the voters deserve a clear statement. Do you stand with Nury, or do you repudiate her endorsement given her actions? Hugo Soto Martinez calls for CD6 Nury to resign. No word yet from his opponent in the CD13 race, Mitch O'Farrell, on whether he continues to support Nury after today's revelations. Notice how a lot of the existing city council members, the ones that got caught, are in support of all of the city council members that I am, and people like Adam and the DSA Los Angeles branch is advocating for. People that truly want to side with labor or come from labor unions that want to handle the homelessness crisis with adequate permanent solutions rather than short term, like just leave them eating trash in the fucking street solutions. Like truly solving the crisis, a crisis that was created as a consequence of our completely broken, fundamentally flawed housing market that treats homes not as a necessary resource for survival, shelter, but instead as an investment vehicle. And of course, a lot of the homeowners associations, real estate developers are on the side of people like this, and therefore they do not want to solve the homelessness crisis in a city like Los Angeles. And by the way, you might be looking at it from afar being like, hey man, I live in Maryland. I live in fucking Maryland. It's not like that here. Yeah, not yet. Any area that is urban, and I don't mean urban as in like, the fancy Democratic Party way of saying black. I mean like urban, like a city. Any area that is going to be a real city is going to have these issues. Anywhere that is overpopulated is as long as they're looking at housing, not as a necessary resource for survival, but instead as a investment mechanism, is always going to have this kind of approach. That's why you're seeing places like Austin, Texas also experience some of the similar problems. Hugo Soto Martinez is calling on Council President Nury Martinez to resign, and we want a full and deep and thorough investigation into who else was a part of this and how deeply this is as rooted as the foundation of City Hall. This is Rich coming from Rick Caruso. Rick Caruso, by the way, was endorsed by Gil Cedillo, and Rick Caruso himself is like a mega real estate developer, right? Like he is, if you could point to a guy in California or in Los Angeles, this is like one of the, there's nothing better to just like, there's no singular force that is responsible for this kind of crisis than a guy who has his own boulevard named after him. You know what I mean? Inside of the Grove, Mr. Grove himself, Mr. Rick Caruso. How many buildings does this motherfucker own in Los Angeles, right? Anyway, last year at the direction of Mitch O'Farrell, LAPD detained 19 journalists at Echo Park Lake. It didn't make anyone safer, but it was the most arrests that U.S. Press Tracker documented on a single day ever. My opponent called the operation an unprecedented success. Lack of accountability creates a culture where bad actors can blatantly disregard civil liberties. Now, of course, these guys are slowly but surely either getting kicked out. Gil Cedillo has been kicked out of the city council meeting earlier today, literally an hour ago. So you got that. Some of them are resigning. They should all resign, really. But let's continue with the scandal, okay, and what's going on. Martinez says of the adopted black son of the council member that he looks like a little monkey. This is a 2-year-old, by the way. This kid needs a beat down. Let me take him around the corner. I'll bring him right back.
They're raising him like a little white kid, which I was like, this kid needs a beat down. Like, let me take him around the corner and then I'll bring him back.
Yeah.
¿Sí me entiendes? Ven para acá.
It's a pinch. Something.
Yeah.
But here it is the fourth black.
I mean, I get what she's saying there. That's not, she's saying that it's like white parenting. She's making fun of white parenting in that situation. That's but it's still fucking psychotic because the person that you're talking about is literally 2 years old. Okay. He's a 2-year-old baby. So you're out of your fucking mind. Make note, she's a Hispanic lady. Yeah. I mean, she's saying, pull out la chancla. Yeah, exactly. But look, I'm Turkish. I understand what she was trying to reference there about white parenting, but again, not appropriate, especially in that context, and certainly not appropriate when you're considering that we are talking about a fucking 2-year-old. Also, if you're Hispanic, that doesn't change. Like, I mean, you can be black and anti-black. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean anything. No, I'm not saying, yeah, dude, child abuse is good parenting. You're right. Yeah, that's what I said. I'm glad your takeaway from that was that I am wholeheartedly endorsing child abuse. Thank you. Because that's what I was saying. I made no assessment on corporal punishment being an adequate tool to teach children, you fucking weirdo. Child abuse is bad. Can't believe I needed to say that. I just hopped on. Are these people connected to DSALA? No, man. What are you, fucking stupid? No, these are literally like the mortal enemies of the people connected to DSALA. And half the time they're talking about literally DSALA candidates. These are like the neoliberals that are in positions of power that are siding with the real estate developers and fucking despise the DSALA candidates. These are the guys that straight up fucking are regularly talking about how much they hate that shit. So then they talk about Martinez, De Leon, and Cedillo and Herrera are discussing black political power in Los Angeles and what De Leon terms the Wizard of Oz effect.
Yeah, that's called Cape Town.
Yeah, it's just
I see a lot of little short, dark people.
Yeah, puro Oaxacan. Puro Oaxacan Koreans. Not even like Kevin, little ones.
I get what we have to do, right? Just massage to create districts that benefit you all,
Yep.
right? And the future.
Yep.
But we gotta figure out Mark's seat too,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
And I'm
that
gonna take
benefits you
Schiffer.
three.
Because if the African Americans look at this, now that he might or may not be suspended, I don't know what's gonna happen. I think that he should be, but anyhow, if he goes away,
You mean resign, not suspend.
No, here's.
you're right, I think, yeah, there is a difference.
If I may,
If he resigns, hold on, if he resigns and the African Americans look at this as a hostile takeover because he's gone, we'll have to figure that shit out, because politically they're gonna come after us.
Yeah, but can I say something right now? And this is what I call ¿cómo se llama this guy? The Wizard of Oz effect.
Mhm.
And what I mean by the Wizard of Oz effect is when you're at the side of the curtain, it's like this big voice.
An
And it
illusion.
sounds big.
An illusion.
And it sounds like there's thousands of them. And then when you actually pull the curtain, is that you see the little Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
You know what?
I've never watched the movie.
It's the same thing.
I never watched the movie.
You got 100 people,
I
right?
think it's the
52
old
of them are
school
Mexicanos.
folks.
I
I'm
feel
gonna
pretty
do
good
that.
about it. I feel pretty good about my chances of beating your ass.
25 are black. And the 25 blacks are shouting. And the
But they
52
shout like there were 250.
Yeah.
When there's 100 of us, they're
Right.
like, it sounds like
So,
there's 10 of us.
but
These guys are liberal, by the way. I just want to point something out. These motherfuckers are libs, okay? Remember, Herrera tells Martinez, De Leon, and Cedillo that they must maneuver the appointment of a city council seat to someone who supports them. After De Leon rejects his initial suggestion, they seem to agree on Heather Hutt. Following a controversial process, Hutt was appointed to the council as a council member for Council District 10 in September this year.
if somebody slides in, right, temporary or however you do it, that person has to support the three of you. And Danny,
You know who wants to run for that seat?
Reggie.
No, Isidore.
I ain't gonna support Reggie. Reggie was over there with Karen.
Who was over there?
After he was fucking sweating his ass off.
The one who will support us is Heather Hutt.
Yes.
I like Heather Hutt.
Yeah.
Heather's
Says you're saying that the one that put in a blender and chop up, right? Martinez, Cedillo, and De Leon come to agree on aggressively gerrymandering Councilmember Nithya Roman's district.
There's certain people who don't merit like us rescuing them. Your comadre, right?
I'm not arguing with you about that.
I know who you know.
¿Quién es tu comadre?
You know, Nithya.
Oh, Nithya.
She doesn't merit, right?
But it's
She's not our ally. She's not gonna help us. Her district is not a district we can count
So
on.
you're saying that's the one that put in the blender and chop up left and right?
But that's what they did.
Yeah.
Go get that airport from his fucking little brother, that little bitch Bonin. They hate Bonin. Like, they fucking hate Bonin so much. He's suggesting about in redistricting, Councilmember Harris Dawson should take the airport from Bonin's district. She questions why Bonin thinks he is black. Then De Leon says his kid
You
is.
want to cut a deal, and if you want to make like fucking boss moves, I would go after the airport. He goes, fuck, I love that idea. I said, tell my Grace.
So
Go take it from his friend.
Don't go.
Don't
eastward.
go after. Leave him
Go west,
alone. Go get the airport from his fucking little brother, that little bitch Bonnet.
How
Yeah,
many
what-
black people?
I goes, what is with Bonnet? And I said, Bonnet thinks he's fucking black. That guy don't think he's black. I go, he thinks he's black. I go the same thing.
Fuck that dude, Martinez on Councilmember Bob Blumenfield. Ron Herrera tells Cedillo, De Leon, and Martinez that they are a little Latino caucus of their own, and that his only goal is to get 3 of them elected. When Herrera says he spoke with CD3 Councilmember Blumenfield, he says he told him he sees all LA City Council seats as Latino. Martinez says, fuck that dude about Blumenfield. Mexicans can't be racist, bro. Yeah, no, totally. But what's this then? I don't understand. Guys, I already said this. These people are in positions of power. They're politicians. There is no like Mexican or black or white in that circumstance. You can only get worse. Like the fucking bottom of that threshold is already so bad. I don't know why people are like, oh my God, I can't believe Mexicans are like this. Like, first of all, no, that's not the case. But like, what is this? The first time that you've heard like a bunch of people in elitist circles unironically talk openly about their disdain for the working poor across the board and their disdain for the working poor and their representatives? Because half the people that they're shitting on, they're literally shitting on because they ride for the disenfranchised communities. That's why they're shitting on them. Also, everyone can be racist. America is an incredibly racist country. Countries that have been impacted by colonialism and slavery, that have a history of I don't know, indigenous genocide in their development are going to have a lot of white supremacist attitudes. And yes, North America, Central America, South America also falls squarely in this category. That's why there are consistent conversations about how Afro-Latina people get fucked over by other Latino people, Latino populations. There's colorism. There's so many different facets to this. It's a totally normal part of everyday existence in every fucking culture. There's even internalized hatred towards other Latino people. Not only was what they said abhorrent, the purpose of the meeting was for redistricting and working to remove power of indigenous and black communities. And Ron Herrera, the leader of our LA Federation of Unions, was a part of it. Yeah. Martinez then calls Councilmember Krikorian's former chief of staff, the guy with the one eyebrow. Even the Armenians took a hit on this one. Okay. They had something for everybody. Mitch and Bonin are gay. That's intentional anti-gay commentary. Yeah, yeah. Like they had it out for every demographic.
Krikorian, I think, will come with us by the mere nature that the labor map is better for Krikorian.
He also wants this guy elected, so he needs a district that Irene Nazarian can win it. That's what they want.
Yeah.
They want to be reassured that they have not an Armenian district in the valley, because that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
But they want as many Armenians in that district as possible to be able to play. Irene, the guy with the one eyebrow.
Used to be with that.
Tall guy.
He used to be Antonio's body person. He's married to a friend of mine.
What's his name?
Irene, what's his last name?
Sepa. Vegetarian.
And it's an IAN, I bet you.
Bro, what the fuck? I'm not laughing at that. That's not funny. Why would they say such a thing? What do you mean? Can you explain that? No, this is, dude, people are so unaware because there is okay. There's a massive Armenian population in Glendale. It's the largest Armenian diaspora outside of Armenia. Okay. I mean, it's the largest Armenian diaspora on the planet. But a lot of you are probably unfamiliar with this. They're making fun of Armenian last names because that's why he's saying it ends with an IAN, I'll bet you. And they laugh because that's why he laughs when he says, what's his last name?
Irene, what's his last name?
Sepa.
No, sir.
Vegetarian.
And then
They start laughing when he says Nigerian.
it's an IAN, I bet you.
Anyway, after publishing, Councilmember Martinez issued a statement to the LA Times saying, in another moment of intense frustration and anger, I let the situation get the best of me. I hold myself accountable. She said she had a heated gaming moment, bro. She said, I was so mad. That's why I said, you know, a 2-year-old black kid was a little monkey. You know how it is? Sometimes you get mad. That's a wild fucking take. Like, what heated you up? What pissed you off? What, the existence of, like, black people in districts and shit? That's crazy. Doesn't seem like she's mad. Seemed pretty calm. She was laughing, yucking it up. De Leon provided a statement to the LA Times saying that he regrets appearing to condone and even contribute to certain sensitive comments made about a colleague and his family in private. I reached out to that person. The DO told the LA Times he does not remember the conversation. He's like, I've had so many of these. Bonin and husband Sean Arian issued a statement calling for the resignation of Herrera, Martinez, and De Leon and called the meeting a coordinated effort to weaken black representation in Los Angeles, which it was. On October 10th, Councilwoman Nury Martinez resigned from her role as city council president. So that's where we're at here. And for people that don't understand, like, I mean, I talked about this when I had Hugo on. LA City Council districts are majorly powerful, massively powerful. Cynthia came out with this, said, these recordings do not represent the people of the city or our need for unity in the face of existential challenges. What we need in LA is a politics of love, not one that pits historically marginalized groups against each other, which is true. She has not given up her seat. She's just given up her presidency. The worst part about this is that the mayoral race is cooked anyway. Like, it's not like Karen Bass is great. It's just cooked. It's all kinds of cooked. You know, the alternative is fucking Rick Caruso, who is awful.
Protesters rallying, demanding Martinez leave office. And the fallout continued even after Martinez agreed to step down from president but remain on council.
Resign from the council, all of it. We should not have anyone serving that is not about the whole community.
Nury Martinez issued a statement apologizing, saying that she's ashamed and asking for forgiveness from her colleagues in the community. It's unclear if she will get that, still holding that power.
Anyway, so that's where we're at right now. I think it's still live. The LA City Council meeting is still live, but
they oppress not only the black community, but they have oppressed all of us as a human race. Many times we came before the city council to tell you about this, that this was happening, and I'm glad that it was a wake-up call for some of our labor partners too. All these construction sites, how many black workers do you see at construction site? Huh? That's been going on for years. Sheriffs, Chicano gangs oppressing black communities. In the sheriffs, how long have they been oppressing black and brown communities? Right? So.
Oh, they cut him. They cut him. They cut his mic. Oh, shit. The moment he starts talking about sheriff gangs, they cut him. They cut his fucking mic. Mexican gangs are racist? No, he's not talking about just like the Chicano gangs. He's talking about the sheriff's gangs.
So until you have all 3 resignations tendered and accepted, this is an illegitimate body. We might as well, we're wasting our time. Not only illegitimate, but anti-black, a tool of the LAPD, anti-poor people, and anti-homeless.
I mean, we knew that
already. I just
already.
want to end by saying that the worst part of that ugly, secret, backdoor, Brown Act and civil rights violating meeting was that it was probably absolutely run-of-the-mill.
True. Here's the thing, guys. This isn't about like Mexican people versus black people or whatever. This isn't all that shit. Do not get caught up in the high notes. This is about the rich and powerful seeing themselves in a different category than everybody else. It's just like their disdain is obvious, right? Their disdain for black people is obvious. But ultimately, that violence that they enact through the apparatus of the state is conducted on the virtue of class.
Cliff Smith, I'm the business manager of the Roofers and Waterproofers Union, Local 36 in Los Angeles. We represent hundreds of the hardest working construction workers across the city, many of them Oaxacan, many of them immigrant, and many of them African American. As the union representative, we add our voice to all the organizations that are here today to demand the immediate resignation of council members Martinez, Cedillo, and De Leon. We do not want to see these people back in this building ever again. Councilmember Martinez,
they're so powerful. Like they just will not do it. You know what I mean? Another problem with this is that like 1, they're just not going to do that. 2, what you fail to recognize, at least watching from afar, like people that go into the city council meeting are usually the weirdest people, right? But in Los Angeles, the city council meeting is actually occupied by plenty of normal human beings that are kind. Like they're not cranks in the same way that you see it in like other places, right? These are real people. These are union organizers. These are people who are activists. These are people who are like, you know, reverence and shit like that. But they're not going to actually end up getting anyone probably to resign. Now, the reason why I say that is because 1, they're fucking incredibly powerful. They're like, you know, they have like serfdoms. And 2, they actually kind of embody the both the racial and classist resentment that a lot of the actual voters in their districts have. That's the unfortunate truth here, is that as long as they represent the interests of homeowners, as long as they represent the interests of like the upper middle class to the incredibly wealthy, as long as they can still continue to you know, keep real estate developers happy, no one's going to question their power. For the record, Corso, I am saying we should vote harder. If there's one area that you should definitely vote in, the fuck do you mean? It's this. How many times have I said this? I have quite literally said, listen, even if you don't want to fucking vote for the president because you don't care, you don't feel like your fucking votes matter. Yes, local down ballot races are infinitely more impactful in your life, especially when there are candidates that align with your worldview. If those guys were completely irrelevant, if they were feckless, if they were powerless, they wouldn't be looking to desperately try to cut Nithya's district. They wouldn't be shitting on Mike Bonin for being gay and having a black child. You know what I mean? Like, the only reason why they're doing that is not because they have so much hate in their heart, which they clearly do, but the reason why they're doing that is because these guys are disrupting the delicate balance, the institutional control that council district members have. This is one area where you absolutely do need to fucking vote extra hard. This is a place where you're supposed to do that.
I want to say that the things that we heard on the tapes, this is just City Hall culture. You all exhibit anti-black behavior. Paul Koretz, he just put out an attack ad attacking a 20-year-old black kid named Simbalal, a youth activist for the Kenneth Mejia campaign. And Paul, you attacked him and said he was a dangerous black male. So that anti-black behavior, I understand. Yeah, all white people are racist, and this.
What? Okay, now we're getting to the cranks a little bit.
Yeah, racism exists in this world, and you all perpetuate it. Rich men.
All right, so that completes our public comment. I want to thank everyone for coming in today.
Okay, this is getting a little out of hand. Okay, we're just gonna move on. They're kind of losing the plot a little bit.